Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great day. In today's video, I have an exciting immigration update for people that are applying for an adjustment of status. The update that I'm going to share with you today specifically has to do with employment authorization for people that are applying for an adjustment of status. So in this video, we're going to talk all about that, so make sure to stick around. Hi everyone, my name is Michael Ashuri and I'm a U.S. immigration lawyer based in Los Angeles, California. At my law firm, we work with clients from all 50 states and worldwide, and we regularly post videos to make sure that you're up to date with the latest immigration news. So if you haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button now. So as I mentioned earlier, in today's video, we're going to talk about an exciting immigration update for applicants for an adjustment of status. And we're going to specifically talk about employment authorization for people that are applying for an adjustment of status. So let's get started. So to give you a little bit of background information, an adjustment of status is when somebody applies for their green card from within the United States. Now, when somebody applies for an adjustment of status, they can also apply for employment authorization. And USCIS will often grant the person employment authorization even before the adjustment of status is approved. USCIS understands that it would be very problematic for somebody to be in the United States for a prolonged period of time without the ability to work. So again, USCIS will oftentimes approve somebody's application for employment authorization even before the adjustment of status is approved. Now, traditionally, when an application for employment authorization is approved based on a pending adjustment of status, the employment authorization is generally granted for a period of 1 year. The issue is that for various types of adjustment of status applications, the processing time can be at least a year in some cases or more. So what ends up happening is that the applicant for the adjustment of status has to renew their employment authorization. This process of having to renew employment authorization is problematic both for the applicant as well as USCIS. For USCIS, it creates an influx of additional applications and it perpetuates this cycle of slow processing times. And for applicants, this is another application that they have to worry about to make sure that they can preserve their employment authorization. So as you can see, this 1 year period of employment authorization can be a mess and it can be stressful for all parties involved. So the update that I want to share with you is that USCIS recently announced that for certain adjustment of status applicants, they will be increasing the initial period of employment authorization from 1 year to 2 years. So they will be adding an additional year to the initial period of work authorization. Additionally, for certain adjustment of status applicants that apply for a renewal of their employment authorization, the renewal will also be granted for a period of 2 years instead of 1 year. So take a look at my screen and let's go through this update together. Right now, we're looking at a USCIS policy alert dated June 9th, 2021. And it says here, subject, employment authorization for certain adjustment applicants. And basically, let's look at the purpose here. It says U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, is updating policy guidance in the USCIS policy manual to increase the amount of time a grant of employment authorization is valid for applicants seeking adjustment of status under Section 245 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, INA. Now let's look at the background. And it says here, when an applicant applies for adjustment of status, he or she may also apply for employment authorization so that the applicant may work in the United States while waiting for a decision on the adjustment application. Currently, USCIS issues adjustment applicants employment authorization documents, EADs, that are valid for 1 year. However, in the interest of reducing the burden on both of the agency and the public, because the current median processing time for certain adjustment of status applications is close to or greater than 1 year, USCIS will now issue initial and renewal EADs to adjustment applicants that are valid for 2 years. Replacement EADs will not be affected by this update. USCIS will continue to issue replacement EADs with the same validity dates as the original EAD. So as you can see from that policy alert that we just reviewed, USCIS will now be granting an initial period of employment authorization for 2 years instead of 1 year for certain applicants for an adjustment of status. Again, this is wonderful news as it will allow certain people to work for 2 years rather than 1 year without having the burden of having to renew their EAD after 1 year. So I hope you found this information extremely helpful. If you know anybody that can benefit from this information, please make sure to share this video with them. At our law firm, we're all about empowering you with knowledge. So the more people that can watch this video that can benefit from this information, the better. As always, thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I will see you on the next one.